You all right?
I was until I saw that.
Martin's dead. Bobby's dead. Jesus is dead. They tried it peacefully. We gonna try something else.
Hola.
Hi, Giovanni. How are you?
It's such an honor. I'm very excited and nervous and happy and everything.
Oh, there's no need to be nervous. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much for talking to us and for sharing this amazing movie with us.
Hi, Giovanni. I'm glad you liked it.
Let me tell you first, this is my favorite movie of the year.
Oh, thank you, Giovanni.
It's amazing, but I do have to say that any other year, this would be an amazing historical movie. But I'm from Chicago, I live in Chicago, so for me, it's kind of intense because it's history repeating itself. But because it's coming out this year, it feels bigger than that. It feels more important than that. For you, you couldn't predict everything that was going to happen this year. So how was making the film? And I want to know, what's your message for the people of Chicago when they watch the movie?
I hope they will feel proud that such an event took place in their city. I know there's many things in it that are tragic and mistaken, but it's a very, very historic event and an incredible example of the meeting between young people and old people that's always taken place in humanity, where the young people are very brilliant and have a very brilliant vision of how things could be better, and the old people are frightened about changing. You know, both things are understandable.
We had such a great time making the film in Chicago, and we were welcomed by the city of Chicago and by the Chicago police, which I wasn't expecting. We thought the film was relevant while we were making it. We didn't need it to get more relevant, but it did. To the point where when you watch the news at night, the footage of Minneapolis or Kenosha or Lexington, Kentucky, if you just degraded the color a little bit, it would look exactly like the footage we used from 1968.
Are they about to conquer Spain? This is it. It's time.
In having history with the city, how was this experience for you? How was doing this story of the Chicago 7?
It was very difficult to come to Chicago to make this film. I had steeped myself so much in the period, in the character, in the circumstances, in the world of the film, that I felt like I was coming to Chicago, you know, leading up to the Democratic Convention and the police riots of 1968. And, you know, I took a long walk the night I got to, they checked us into the Palmer House when I first got to Chicago, which is where Judge Hoffman lived. So I said, I can't stay here. I'm not staying where Hoffman stayed.
Your Honor, the other defendants would like to join in Mr. Seal's motion.
Are you now speaking on behalf of Mr. Seal?
No, Your Honor, I'm speaking on behalf of the other defendants.
You're standing right next to him. Why don't you just represent him?
Because I'm not his lawyer.
Overruled.
I am being denied right
Mr.
now
Seal,
my constitutional
will you be quiet?
right for
Will
legal
you?
representation.
Will you be quiet?
The judge that Frank Langella plays is completely understandable. He thought that he was a very liberal judge, and compared to where he'd come from, he was a liberal judge. He remembered better times, and he was frightened about what was happening, and so you know, he behaved in a way that maybe wasn't so wise, trying to suppress these young people. But these young people also didn't realize how very, very bright the vision and the illumination they had was. They didn't realize, and they weren't old yet, so they didn't realize how people get frightened when they get older. So it's a very, you know, it's something that that I think will live for a long time in history. And I hope this film will do a job in cementing that as a very, very expressive tale of this eternal struggle between young people and old people for change.
And then, of course, filming those scenes on the streets, chanting, "No justice, no peace," chanting, "The people united will never be defeated," and finding ourselves once again chanting those things in cities all over the country and speaking out against police brutality and speaking up for Black Lives Matter and speaking out against an authoritarian strain in our government.
It's a yes or no question. When you came to Chicago, were you hoping for a confrontation with the police? I'm concerned you have to think about it.
Give me a moment, would you, friend? I've never been on trial for my thoughts before.
There was something in the movie that really stuck with me. It says what white people are fighting for is different to what Black people are fighting for.
Yeah.
And I want to include what Latino people are fighting for nowadays.
Yes.
Our audience is going to see the movie differently than white people because we live the injustices. What's the message, or how do you want us to see the movie, and what do you want us to take away from it?
I don't know if I feel worthy of giving a message other than I think that the film aspires to be a celebration of protest, the value of protest, and also of solidarity. Jerry Rubin believed in what he called an interracial humanhood, which meant that his struggle is your struggle, is all of our struggle. And I think that is something that we all need to remember now more than ever, and to respect and understand one another's struggles with empathy and with love.
In terms of what else I'd love the audience to take from it, is that dissent and protest is not unpatriotic. It is patriotic. You're doing this because you want to make America better. You point out the scene with Bobby Seale after Fred Hampton's been killed, where he points out to Tom Hayden that, as you said, his struggle and Hayden's struggle are two very different things. And I think that, frankly, most of us are able to see that you're 100% right, that the Hispanic struggle in this country, if it wasn't difficult enough before, it just became a hell of a lot more difficult 4 years ago or 5 years ago when he came down the escalator and announced that Mexicans were rapists and they're invading the country and that kind of thing. So I hope that people who are struggling against the status quo, who are reaching with all their might for justice and equality, fairness, will feel that this film honors them.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that inspires a cultural revolution right now, because we need it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was very nice talking to you, and thank you for your very kind words.
Thank you, Aaron. Bye-bye.
Take care.